Okay, round number 2. Yeah, we're going to be on the play here, I think. Sure. I'm not saying that this is a great keep, but I think it might be a keep. Maybe not, actually. We've got, let's see, an uncastable 4-drop and a 5 and a 6 that need a lot of extra mana to go. We do get a 2-drop and then potentially King Macar on turn 4, which is kind of exciting, but maybe in retrospect, I wonder if this was even a keep at all. Yeah, it certainly helps. I'm just going to play the Eidolon out here and just try to draw out any trades or removal or anything that I can with it, or just get in for some damage because I want to clear the way for the king. Underworld Coinsmith. Well, he's not going to trade with that. Yeah. Certainly give him the opportunity here. Say go. Goodness. That's pretty scary. The good news is it doesn't do anything, and if we draw a land here, brutal, then we could have King Macar on an essentially empty board, but we bricked, so good luck us. What does this thing do? Whenever a creature you own dies. All right, well, let's pay some life. Grim Guardian. All right, so he's grinding, which is actually potentially good for us with King Macar. All right, so here's the plan. Disciple of Phenax, it's his whole hand, so we get to take away any removal that he has, and then we slam King Macar and try to take over with it. So let's see if this works. All right, he's got Skirmisher and a Johnny's Presence. Yeah, so I think we just take the Skirmisher away here. And that leaves him with a Johnny's Presence, which makes things indestructible, but he needs to draw a creature like pronto, because King Macar is going to get him. Ugh, and he does. It's a nice one here, too. All right, well, that's okay. Still think we probably just want a King Macar here, though we can't actually attack with it. We could just play Borderland Minotaur and try to make him trade off something for it. Yeah, that probably seems pretty good. Let's do that. All we're really going to do is get the Johnny's Presence out of his hand here. Oh man, he's just going off. He went Bloodcrazed Hoplite into Chosen. It's going to make this thing quite big. We get to Pharika's Chosen or King Macar if we're lucky. Yeah, there's actually spots where we can get lucky here. Like we get King Macar down, we give it Intimidate, and like maybe he had attacked with this Hoplite and then he only has Grim Guardian back or something along those lines. It's starting to become an issue though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's only 2 mana symbols away. We know the single card in his hand. He's drawing one here though. No, you can't take anything away from me. I don't have any. I have nothing to give you, sir. You just got to target something. No blocks because he's got a Johnny's Presence. We can get out of his hand, but we have to give up our Minotaur to do it. I'd rather just start cracking in on him, I think. Oh, Aspyxiate. That's not bad either. Probably just want King Macar here, though. I think King Macar in battle is probably the right plan. So let's battle. He's got one unknown card. I mean, if I could play Pharika's Chosen and Asphyxiate, I might consider it, but like kill this thing and play a Chosen to block this thing, that seems pretty reasonable, but I don't have that option here. So I'm going to go with King Macar and kind of put him on his back feet. And then what's most likely to happen here is that I end up having to use Asphyxiate and he uses a Johnny's Presence or something along those lines. We just need to get this thing tapped once. It exiles, so it just destroys what Athreos does well. It also will keep Athreos away. Like, yeah, it's going to be really good if we can get it. And King Macar should prevent him from attacking here. He should just be like, nope, stop sign. So that's nice, too. Ye old brick wall and intact. Dreadbringer Lampads can get Borderland Minotaur through. I can also just attack with Borderland Minotaur here. I think I like just battling with it. If he uses up his, what's it called on it? His Johnny's Presence, then I get to Asphyxiate next turn. So let's fight here. It's the old he knows that I know thing too, so he might just take it. Oh, he's going to block. Okay. I mean, it's not unreasonable. He gets to make his guy huge. He gets to save him. I wonder if he'll kick it and target his Guardian too. It's interesting because I wouldn't mind actually killing that. But I'll probably just Dreadbringer Lampads either way this turn. Again, a little awkward. Like Asphyxiate plus Chosen's pretty sweet, but... All right, yeah, he's going to do it to both correctly. And again, nothing to steal. So Lampads go. But then next turn we get to Asphyxiate this thing. Potentially here. And set him back a heck of a lot. Lampads go. Yeah, if we get to successfully Asphyxiate, that's 2 mana symbols off the battlefield. And it's for him, for his Athreos. And it gets rid of his only viable blocker for King Macar. So, yeah. It's a big game. This is a big turn, depending on what he plays here. I mean, he could do anything from play something with 2 and then hit us for like 9 or whatever, or try to. Or he could just pass a turn back and kind of let us get him. He could find removal for King Macar and just change our entire game plan. He revoked Nyxborn Eidolon? This one seems like a slightly better target from where I'm sitting. Oh, Coordinated Assault. That's a good one too. All right, let's get rid of this guy. See if that happens. Would I like to pay 3 life? Okay. Takes the hit? No, he must have, it would be kind of sick, but he could have drawn Divine Verdict. Oh, I guess he didn't. All right. So he's got 1 untapped step to find Excoriate or something. Even then, he's in bad shape. Fortifier, that's not going to get her done. Huzzah! We get to untap. Take out the Fortifier. Yes, I would love to. Thank you for asking so kindly. We can play Archetype. Doesn't really do what we want. It gives somebody Intimidate, but he's already got a creature that can block. It doesn't hurt, though. We have a piece of gold that we can use for either of these. Sure. It's actually more important. King Macar is not the most important creature anymore. Just hitting him for 4 is more important. He has to block here. Unfortunately, we're 1 short of lethal for firing off Coordinated Assault, which we can do. Yeah, I think we pay the life here. I don't mind having it in his hand necessarily, but it's not great either. Feast of Dreams. Why does he just has no idea that's an enchantment creature, which I am quite happy about. All right, go ahead. You got 1 draw step. That ain't it. That guy just gets exiled. This is the beauty of this card, right? Is that like once he gets rolling, this is what happens. Like it doesn't matter. He could play any creature in the game that, as long as it didn't like, kill King Macar or whatever, and it just gets exiled, and then he gets to keep attacking. So it becomes almost impossible for your opponent to come back. All right, what do we want? Viper's Kiss? Probably not. We've got this little stuff kind of covered, I think. Anger of the Gods seems reasonable here, but not great. Drifters, Courser. I don't think he's that aggressive. Boulder Fall, Diadem, whatever it's called. I don't see anything obvious, at least. Viper's Kiss, I might be able... I mean, we did see a Bloodcrazed Hoplite, which would be a nice thing to pick off. But, man, with double Magma Spray, Pharika's Cure, like, Viper's Kiss just isn't up to par with those. All right, we're definitely going to mulligan that one. And we're going to keep this one, though. It's pretty unexciting, too. We're going to have to get full value off of our Magma Spray, which apparently we will. Get rid of that. Maybe too aggressive to do it on my turn, but I just don't want to risk getting blown out by a Johnny's Presence. Like, card becomes so hard to play around. The Hoplite. It's just like, you don't know what to do. You take a damage from it, and then like, you want to get them, but then they kind of end up getting you more than you get them. And I usually just favor just killing it as soon as possible. It's the kind of card that can get out of hand. What do you got? Forlorn Sudama. I think that's fine. And I think we just play Borderland Minotaur because it hits a little harder and we are planning on battling with it. The thing about Forlorn Sudama is that it's very slow. It can grind. I mean, it really can, but ultimately, like, by the time he's ready to start actually blocking our Borderland Minotaur and stuff, it's really slow. He has nothing. That's a not entirely believable scenario, but whatever. I do not care. I battle anyway. And what do I want to play here is a question. Bladetusk Boar can get in, so it's probably the best option. Servant's interesting because it can block Sudama, so he doesn't get to attack us anymore. But my gut says we're just racing here, so I'm just going to play the Bladetusk Boar. And just sort of ignore. I mean, if he wants to spend half of his turn making a 2/2 zombie here, then I still get to attack with this and this potentially. Like, it's not great for him. All right, so he did that, make the half turn blah, blah, blah thing. That means he does get to keep attacking with this, but I can attack with both with just if I want. I can even just slam Dreadbringer Lampads and give this Intimidate and hit him for 7. Sort of guaranteed, even though he doesn't have a great block with just that. Still probably correct to just play the Lampads, though it does get a little awkward against sort of free zombie tokens. All right, in he goes. Remains unblocked. And he passes his turn back. All right, yeah, I think it's definitely time for Dreadbringer Lampads here. I think if he's got a Johnny's Presence, we definitely don't want to just run our Borderland Minotaur into it. He plays it, he gets to keep his guy, etc. That's no fun for us, so let's engage in ancient battle here. Not quite half his life total, which is a little bit annoying, but a good whack nonetheless. And we do have the Sip of Hemlock to take care of those last 2 life if we're able to draw an enchantment and get these 2 guys in this turn and next turn. That puts him at 2, and then we sip anything and he dies, which is nice. Also, this has to resolve to make the controller lose 2 life, but the creature doesn't have to die. So if he gives it indestructible, the creature might not die, but the sip still seeps into its owner's cup and he dies, and he'll take 2. Okay, so go. Let's see if he's going to pay again. I still think it's happy times for us if he keeps paying. He is going to pay again. I guess then he wants to hit us for 4 and leave up this zombie. Yeah, it depends on what we draw, but we certainly have ways to play around that. Like, we can sip the zombie. He's got Revoke. All right, well, he finally read Dreadbringer Lampads. Unless I missed something last time, it just felt like that was a more reasonable target for 2 different things. Sometimes I say that, though, and then I look back, I'm like, oh, that's what he was doing. All right, so no white mana up. So that should be game. No, he's going to leave one back. Smart boy. Though I can kill one and make him chump with one here. That seems pretty good to me. So this is going to put him to 7, and we're attacking for 7. Oh, black mana. What is this? Oh, Boon? Wow, Boon's going to hit him actually for almost lethal by itself. I can't say I love that play on his part because he still now must block. And now he's dead next turn. All right, well, we got a card out of his hand, I suppose. And he's paying for this. This is an interesting line because I mean, you got to figure, remember, this is his upkeep, and he's got a draw step to go, and he needs to kill this boar. So, yeah, okay, this makes a little more sense. No, he is going to pay. Is he? Really? I mean, you got to figure he doesn't have the removal now or he would have used it. And making a 2/2 doesn't do anything here. He needs to have Excoriate. He needs to find Divine Verdict or one of the, Sip of Hemlock style big finishers. Another card like Lash of the Whip, which he now can't cast. He can't cast Sip. He needed to hit a land just to have access to like Excoriate and Divine Verdict. I mean, I don't know what he has in his deck, and he does. So he might just have none of those 5 and 6 drop or even 4, 5, or 6 drop removal spells. But God, it feels like you'd want to keep that mana because this thing isn't doing anything. All right, let's see what he's got. Underworld Coinsmith is a start, but I still have a lethal Bladetusk Boar, so he needs one more thing. It can be an enchantment. Can be a removal spell. All right, it's an enchantment. So he's going to go up to 4 here. I like that. And it looks like I've got a really nice little turn here where I get to play both. I get to attack with both. He's going to double block. I get to Necrobite to take out 2 zombies. And then I get to play Servant to block Forlorn Sudama and really block anything I want. Oh, wow. Lovely. He even just threw away his guy. Because now I get to do 1/1/1. All right, he's got a very tall order to get through all of this stuff. There are cards. He's on 7 mana. He could Fated Retribution and wipe the board here. I don't have access to this, so if he Fated Retributions, then we're in full top decky race mode or whatever. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting if he had that, because he could scry 2 and try to set up sweet draw steps while we're just like at the mercy of drawing lands or whatever. Most normal plays don't get him out of this, though. What in the world? Yeah, don't pay your last life. What is happening? I don't even know how he did that. How do you make your life go to 0? Oh, this. Yeah, he was paying life for that. Don't do that. That is not a way to win a Magic game here. Make a dude, gain a life, go up to 2. But he's got bigger issues than that because of this Bladetusk Boar here. Realistically, I can attack with the Servant of Tymaret as well. Hell, I can just attack with the team here. He has no attack this turn. Oh, and we got a Magma Spray as well. I like that. I think I want to spray pre-combat here. Let's kill that. This way we have a lethal boar, but if it dies, then he doesn't have any good blocks left over, and Servant, if it gets in, becomes lethal as well. That happens. Okay, he just didn't have anything. All right, we'll see you guys in the finals.